Ayo, I'm Tits,
Hey, I'm Areolas.
and we're reviewing Interstellar. What's your first exposure to Interstellar?
Uh, I think when it came out, because I know I had a buddy that was like really wanting to see it when it came out in theaters, and we went and saw it, and I thought it was good, but then he saw it like three more times, and it fucked up his brain. Like he legit, it like
In a
messed with
good
him.
way or a bad way?
I think in a bad way, because he like stopped talking to us and he deleted all his social medias, and he like just
Why?
kind
Because you
of.
realized how overrated it was?
I don't know. Can you imagine like it's a long, fucked up, weird movie, but then to watch it like three times in a row in a theater. But what was your first exposure to it?
Uh, Someone actually requested me to watch Interstellar. Actually, my very first exposure. I had a friend in high school who said it was her favorite movie, and she showed me half of it, and then I had to leave. And
Hmm.
then, like, several years later, someone requested me to watch this movie, and I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, why is this my friend's favorite movie? Because it looks cool."
I don't know about it being a favorite. Like it's a good movie, but I don't know about it. I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, this is the like my go-to movie to watch. I don't know about that.
Oh boy, this movie starts and we're following a family and they're driving in a cornfield,
Yeah,
but you're
very
in a
corny.
famine. Why are you driving in your cornfield in if you're going through a famine? Don't you want to keep all that food?
I guess it's what is it, the law of numbers, where I guess the more there is, the less chance it is to get. I don't know.
I
It
You'd want all the corn, dude. Like, and they're just like, "Oh, let me just like drive through this cornfield." It's like, dude, chill out. Like, consider that you are very lucky in that everyone around you is starving. And there seems to be some sort of like dust storms happening too.
everything's just dusty and dirty.
Yeah. I find the dust storms to be cool, honestly,
Do you?
because it's like it introduces some tension early on in the movie. It's like, oh, we gotta go inside. We gotta close all the window. Oh no, one of the windows is open. We gotta close that. Oh, there's just a bunch of dust in the house now, and it makes me wonder how many times do you have this dust storm happen where you forget to close your window?
Well, she's a kid. I guess you can say kids will be kids, because I know I've had
She's not
my
that
niece.
young.
Yeah, I've had my niece like forget to turn the stove off or something, and you're like, oh come on, you know what I mean? But
How old are they?
uh 11, 12. So
Oh, that's about this chick's age, I guess.
yeah, yeah, kids, they forget things, and you try to.
I mean, yeah, but it just
But you would think, yeah, it's like a
she knows
constant
this.
reminder. It's always reminded about all the dust.
Yeah, like, hey, there's a bunch of dust. Haven't By the way, in your like 12 years of existence, how many dust storms have there been? It seems to be very common occurrence.
Why would you
So just
even open your window in the first
yeah,
place? That's the
yeah.
thing. With it being so constant, why even open it? Just glue it shut or something, or nail it shut. You're never gonna need to open that window.
But luckily she left the window open. Thank God she left the window open because if she didn't leave the window open, there's no sign of gravitational forces, some weird gravitational things happening next to the library.
Hmm.
And I found this to be interesting. And so did the guy, the who's that guy's name? The dad who goes on an embark.
Cooper. Cooper.
Cooper. Yeah, the Cooper's like, oh, this is so interesting. I think I found the solution to all of our famine needs. I'm going to leave my family. Like,
Well, he ends up, because the little girl thinks it's a ghost. That's the only way she can explain it in her terms.
yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it's actually giving us coordinates. Let's go to these coordinates. Like, fuck, let's see what we find. Let's go on a little adventure." And they end up finding like a secret NASA base and tripping out because they're like, "What? Like, no, don't kill us. We just stumbled upon this." And it's like, how the fuck do you stumble upon it?
Stumbled upon it. Oh yeah, by the way, you're interested in finding planets that are habitable? Okay, come join us. We'll train you. And so he like trains and then eventually embarks on this on this journey, and I'm like, can't is the earth really that far gone that
I
you can't like, I don't know, create something in your chemistry labs and make it so we're not dealing with famine? What's
it,
causing all the famine?
well, and I guess it goes, and I didn't understand this, I guess, first watching the movie, but rewatching it here, it goes on the thought that like they're trying to teach everyone to be engineers and be more into technology instead of farming. And so that's where like it fucked up that imbalance, of like, oh, but you would think, I guess, with the Marvels even now of like synthetic foods or synthetic meats, they would have gone that route, but I guess they didn't for some reason in this
Yeah, I
story.
mean, you can make people eat bugs before it's easier to make people eat bugs than it is to leave the planet. Like, it really is. How many bugs are there? Seriously. There's like you can make there's cricket flour, cricket protein flour, you can just put in a bunch of things like
Ants,
even yeah, ants. You can eat ants. But
ants
like
are everywhere.
yeah. And apparently there's like for every one human on the planet, there's 250 chickens. Did you know that?
No,
There's
I
a
didn't
ton of
know that.
chickens. What happened to the chickens?
Yeah, it's very strange. They really want like vegetables because they're saying how what okra just died, and then some other vegetable just died, and now corn is gonna die, and that's what it
Especially
basically.
with them driving through the cornfield.
And that's what it makes it seem, the end all be all is losing vegetables. Like, and I can maybe see that, I guess, because bugs have to eat vegetables too, or grass. But again, you can think of something synthetic to feed an animal or even yourself, like with that
Yeah.
technology.
I mean, are we living in a world where there aren't genetically modified products?
I guess so. In this world, that's very odd to though to only go the route of, like I said, like we said, just making technology things, but not processing food, or even stuff to help people live longer, because
Yeah.
they're tripping out about time. That's a big issue, and taking too long.
Yeah, there is that. Um, it also makes me think, I feel like at some point, if everybody is focusing on technology, then we're going to get to the point where we're at now, which is everybody's so focused on technology that we don't need technology jobs anymore. And just
Yeah.
making like robots. Just make robots.
No, it's very odd, like you said, that the way it has this problem that you think they would easily solve, but they haven't. But they have all these other problems solved, and then their solution is, oh, interplanetary travel. Like, that's that's what we need to do. So that's what they do, and they sent out spaceships before to find inhabitable lands, and Cooper is sent up with his mission to go check out the ones that send signals back. And there's three different planets, right? And it's funny,
Yeah.
it reminds me of a video game at this point, where you're like, oh, here's your mission, here's your three different missions to go to, check out each one and see what happens.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of a video game.
Hmm.
Uh the part I do like is how distraught Cooper is over leaving his family. And it's like, but I want to make sure they survive. And I want to make sure their kids survive. So I'm like, I get it. Like, you're trying to, you believe you're ensuring the future of humanity. But honestly, I think the future of humanity is your children. I guess that makes sense. That's how generations work. Uh
Well, that's plan A, and then plan B is like the Anne Hathaway, whatever her character is. Is it Amelia? She wants she's the one that takes up like human sperm egg samples in order for humanity to like survive somewhere else. Where Cooper wants to save Earth, and Plan B is that's funny. Plan B is to save the children, even though Plan B would be used to kill a child.
exterminate.
Yeah, exterminate. So that's Plan B to
Yeah.
help the human race survive somewhere else and keep it going. You know.
I do like the planet that they go to a few planets. I don't remember the order in which they go to, but I remember the water planet.
I
Like,
think that's the first one, the water planet.
yeah, the water planet is like, oh, this is fine. We don't need to, freak out. And then like they're standing in like ankle deep water, and then there's this huge wave. It's like, oh, we're gonna come over you. It's
That's
like
scary.
those are scary waves. Who said this was inhabitable? Because there's water on it?
Well, that was the planet because when they get close to it, they realize that it's close to whatever, like I don't know what is it. I'm trying to read here, like close to something that has rowdy gravitational pull, so time acts relevant next to it. Like it's different, right? So every
Yeah.
what second, every
It's like
second
a
is like
year or something.
yeah, every second is like a year or so many whatever. And so when they go down there, they realize that whoever sent the thing had sent it uh just barely to them, but it was like years ago to Earth relevant, you know? So they
Yeah.
think that they've been on there on that planet thriving for years, but really they just got there, pressed the button, and then fucking died from the water,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I do like their attempt to escape. We lose a couple people, but who cares? They were not named.
Yeah, they weren't main characters, and I like the music on this where it's going, where they're trying to like there's little ticks of a clock, so you could tell it's kind of like the stress of the time on the planet and them
Yeah.
trying to like not get fucking killed by the waves. So this is like real stressful, like rowdy, you know.
Yeah. I like the little robot guy.
He's cool.
Yeah, he's like a little cube and can just move his cube legs.
When he's carrying Anne Hathaway, it looks
Yeah,
cool. Like
it does look
uh,
cool. What's the other
yeah.
planets they go to? They go to this ice planet. Forgot the other one they went to. Uh
So the whenever one thing though, when they do finally get off that planet, and I guess they left the dude up in the space station, and he's like, it's been 28 years, and he's all older now, that black dude,
yeah.
and they were like all sad because it was like we didn't think we were going to stay down there for an hour and a half or whatever they ended up staying, and it was like 28 years to him,
Yeah.
and so they feel bad about that. And then yeah, they go to that ice planet that's kind of okay, and they find Matt Damon there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looks like a friendly fellow at first, but he
Yes.
turns out to be kind of a traitor. He kind of seems he's not a good person. He's like, "Oh, I've been here forever. Oh, you guys are here? Let me take your ship."
he rowdy like goes heel on them like out of nowhere. He's like, "Hey, thanks for saving me. I'll show you all around. This is great. Come with me." And then he just like rowdy devises a plan to take all of them out and take their ship. And he's like, "You would do the same, Cooper, if it were me. I'm just trying to survive, you know."
Yeah. uh I'm so curious about like Cooper's stress. He's like, "Oh man, I wonder what life is like now that we're away from Earth." And it's like meanwhile his daughter is over here trying to solve all the problems of humanity. she's like she's actually doing all the problem solving. Like she's like, oh, there's an equation. There's a weird gravitational pull. Let me see if there's an equation. Oh, there's somebody who's like on a deathbed. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, the equation I sent you is also wrong. Humans can't handle it. Bye bye. I'm going to die now. And then she's like, well, I have to fix this somehow. I have to fix humanity. My dad probably abandoned me because he doesn't like me, and those are the things that can happen when you're away from your family looking for a habitat for humans to live in. When you have one right here, you have your family here. Why'd you leave them?
Well, because he drank the Kool-Aid on the idea that that old dude had plan A as an option, then plan B was like the other option, but really plan B was the only option in his eyes. That plan A was just to convince him to go up there, you know. He's like, oh, there's really no hope for humanity here, and of course his daughter got mad because it's like, why him out of like everyone on Earth, you know what I mean? But
That's because he drank the Kool-Aid.
yeah, yeah, and I understand like he wants to save his family, but I understand her too. Is like, well, why him? Anyone else could fucking fly this ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he was a farmer. Why couldn't you get one of the technological boys to fly the technological ship?
he
We need
just
farmers on other planets or something.
he just he just chose to, but I guess it becomes more complicated later on because so they're able to uh get past Matt Damon because Matt Damon kills the black dude. Gets he goes to like up to the I don't know the satellite they have in this in the fucking orbit,
Yeah.
and he ends up like exploding before doing any kind of like speech or villain type thing. He just dies.
What an asshole.
But
Should
it
have
was
waited.
good. It was good. Like I don't know. He was a good bad guy because I
I
understood it.
agree.
He yeah
I do like once they get off of the second planet, this guy's like, "Oh, we gotta go to the third planet. Oh, it's gonna spend more. I'm gonna spend more time traveling and away from my daughter. Oh wow, there's this black hole coming up. Oh no, I've been sucked into the black hole." And then he gets sucked into the black hole, and it makes me wonder, how does a black hole work? I'm no science, so I don't know anything about the black holes, but apparently this black hole can take you to the past, and you can talk to your daughter behind the library books.
yeah. It's very strange because when he's talking to the robot, wherever the robot's at, because it got sent into the black hole first, the robot's like, oh, they helped create this dimension here with the bookshelf so you could understand. And he's like, who's they? And he's like, they. He just keeps calling them they, like they're binary or something. Yeah,
I got to this part, the black hole part, and I was like, I got so confused. Mainly because my brain's so small and I don't know how physics work. But I was like, quantum physics. But I was like, how does a black hole make you go to this part of time? What, like, I know a black hole like consumes all matter, but what does it do with the matter once it's consumed?
I don't think we know, and I think this is just the movie's interpretation of it, of him being able to see all points of time. Uh, it's just weird that whoever they are, which they I don't know if they're a higher power or what Matthew McConaughey Cooper considers humans, but just like more evolved, they need him. Like they can guide him, but they can't help him, like a watcher or something. And
Yeah.
so he's able to like communicate through gravity, where gravity can transcend distance, time, space, like infinitely. Apparently,
Oh god, isn't
yeah.
oh man, isn't gravity created by mass though?
I've
It,
that's what a black hole is, I guess. Though it's just fully mass, so maybe it's just strong amounts of gravity. I honestly don't know. It gets weird here, where
this is the point. in which the movie lost me. I was on board for the other things. I was willing to ignore them driving through the cornfield during a maze, during a famine. You know, driving it like they're going through some sort of like corn maze or something. And I was totally okay with exploring all these weird planets. It's like, yeah, whatever. They're weird planets. It's not Earth. You can have fun with it. But
Mhm.
then this black hole thing, I was like, no, I'm done. No, this doesn't make sense at all. It just seems like a way for the plot to work in a weird, convoluted way. And anyone who's like, "Oh my goodness, this looks so pretty. The black hole sequence is awesome." Ooh, I feel like they're distracted by the visuals so much so that they're not thinking about how it would actually work. And this is why everyone says Interstellar is awesome.
Well, to me, I feel like it. Of course, like if it were other dimensions, like a fourth or a fifth dimension that he's in, our minds wouldn't be able to comprehend it, and they would. I don't know. Our brains would melt, probably literally from trying to comprehend another dimension. You know.
He's the reason why he went on the trip in the first place. Like he sent the coordinates.
Yeah,
But if he never did do that, like if he didn't do the coordinates, then where would he be now? Like would it take him out of that black hole if he didn't affect time like that?
and I think that's where, because he was trying to stop himself through the books and the gravity, and it's like, you know what? I'm the one who sent for myself. I was the only one who could do this because I needed to end up right here. So it was like a Back to the Future type moment where it's like, oh, I sent myself because I needed to be here to send whatever those calculations are back to his daughter through the watch in Morse code so that she could figure out a way for interplanetary travel or whatever.
I do like how she's the one that creates the gravity manipulation stuff, like because of her father. I guess her father did do what he sent out to do, which is to save humanity, and he did it through his daughter. And the daughter's like, "Oh yeah, here we go. Here's some more gravitational manipulation. Means we can all travel space and time and all that fun jazz." And I like when he gets back around to Earth eventually. Like it takes him so much time. So much time has passed. His daughter is old as fuck now.
This is the one part, like you said, you got thrown out with the fourth dimension shit. This is where it threw me out, how they just found him. And what did we call it last time? It's like a Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, where like, oh, we just found you floating out. We're lucky you had that much oxygen. And it's like, really? You just found him out in space?
Luck.
Infinite space. We
Lucky.
we lucky you had that much oxygen on you, and we found you in the infinite vastness of fucking space, and we were able to bring you back, you know?
Yeah. And they bring him back, and the daughter is old as fuck, and she's like, it seems like she's on her deathbed. Oh my goodness, father, I've found you again. Wow, I'm now realizing that you abandoned me not because you hate me, but because you're trying to do
Save me,
things,
whatever.
save humanity. But I
Mhm.
guess you didn't save humanity. It was me, you bitch. Fuck you, father.
It was us together, but you were a ghost, so I don't know, whatever. It worked out.
I
And
guess so.
I kind of got teary-eyed with the stuff like this father-daughter stuff because I have a niece. So I got a little emotional even though like, it has nothing to do like I don't think I'm ever going to travel space being overweight, and I don't think my niece is ever going to solve interplanetary travel, but it still tugged at my heartstrings, you know.
Yeah, Elon Musk is doing that right now, actually.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have a nice little talk. They have a nice little goodbye. Oh, she's dying. Oh, and then she's dead. And his solution is like, well, I guess traveling is better now. in the future. Traveling space. I'm gonna go travel space some more.
Well, he's like, well, that his daughter's like, oh, what's her name still out there with the egg samples, and you should go find her. And I was in my head, I was thinking, oh, this is a new game plus. Like he just beat the game, the main storyline, and now he's doing the optional missions
Yeah, he's
for
doing
the game.
DLC.
Yeah, he's literally just, oh, go find the love of your life now. You saved the earth. Okay, this is DLC. All right, cool.
Yeah. I do find it funny. So he's on a mission to find her. And I do like the movie shows what she's doing. She has a bunch of robots and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to establish a colony." I'm like, "That's what humanity should have been doing in the first place? Is to just build these robots and send them out into space? Why humans?" You know?
And that was the plan. I guess, her and her dad knew all along. They didn't figure Matthew McConaughey was going to go all ghost dad and able to travel through the fourth and fifth dimension to send a message back to the past to himself and his daughters. So this was like the more logical way, and you know it made
Yeah.
sense.
Robots make more sense than sending humans out in space.
I don't
That's what
know.
I
I
say.
I don't know why we don't, and I always talk about this, why don't we live on the moon right now?
Why not? Because
Yeah.
there's no atmosphere on the moon.
Yeah, but I feel like we could make a I
There's
feel like
not
we
enough
could,
gravity on
with
the moon.
science and stuff, we could make like a atmosphere bubble, and create a all what is it? A fake atmosphere?
There's no water or like soil on the moon. There's nothing there. It's just a bunch of rocks. Well, sorry, cheese, if you believe the theories.
Well, then we could at least go, and I don't know. I feel like we should at least put a Walmart or something up there, you know?
Yeah, a Walmart
It's
on the
something.
moon.
There's real estate up there that we should be using it for something.
Yeah, like fast internet.
Or a prison like they do in Men in Black. Like
Moon
it's,
prison.
yeah, the moon prison. Have a prison up
What's the
there.
harshest prison on Earth? Like the most guarded one.
Isn't it Alcatraz? It's like on an island.
Wasn't that in Harry Potter?
That's Azkaban.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah,
it's based off of
it's probably based off
Alcatraz.
of it. Alcatraz is like
Okay.
the hardest prison to break out of because it's on an island. So not only do you have to break out of the prison, but you got to swim off the island.
We should send all the prisoners of Azkaban to the moon. Solution.
I feel like the moon is prime real estate. I think so, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know the science behind it.
untapped.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone who owns the moon is gonna have a lot of power.
Uh, I would love it there. You could jump around.
That's true.
Yeah.
Was that all of the movie? That's all I remember of
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah, that's all he does. He just goes to search for that girl, and yeah, she's on that new planet where she can breathe, and she's setting up a colony there with the egg samples, and that's it.
That's good. What would you rate this movie?
Uh Man, after watching it again, maybe like a 7. Like I love the music goes with it. The movie's cool. I don't know, as far as like we said, like the stuff that takes you out of it. I think that last part really takes me out of it, where they just find him all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like the visuals are good. At first I feel like Matthew McConaughey is kind of a weird guy to choose to be the actor for this main character, but he ends up growing on me, and I don't know. I would say a 7, just because I don't think, like you said, like it's your friend's favorite movie or someone you knew's favorite movie. And my buddy, he watches so many times. Like it's not that good, but it is a really good movie.
Yeah. I think a 7's a fair score. I think I'd also give it a 7. Like what I mentioned, the parts that immediately brought me out of the immersion of the movie was just like, well, eh, it's whatever. It's a cool looking movie. It's a cool idea. It's the music's cool. Their directing's all right. I just, not a huge fan of how it was executed, and the end part. The beginning is stronger than the end of the movie for sure.
Yeah, and then it's kind of it's long, of course. It's what 3 hours,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It feels like two parts of a movie or three parts. Like it should be a three-parter where each planet is like its own, section. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt it more like a video game than an actual movie.
That's a good way to put that.
Yeah,
Yes, I agree with that.
no, but it was. I don't know. That's Interstellar. It was a 7. That's a 7. Hey,
7.
I got. I got a game here. Play with Interstellar. I call this. What do I call it? Laws, principles, and adages.
All right.
So that's what I call it. So remember they talk about Murphy's Law, because the daughter's named Murphy,
Yeah.
which is anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And we're gonna look at apparently different. See, this is when I typed in Murphy's Law into AI, this is what it gives me.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna look at, and I don't know about like these people's faces
Oh god.
up here too.
They look so weird.
Dude, I
These you can tell it's AI because the eyes are so fucked.
dude, it's real fucked.
AI doesn't understand the importance of faces, especially the eyes.
Well, because it thinks, oh, you're looking far away, but it's like, no, we're gonna zoom in at this shit and like, look at that. That's fucking horror right there.
What is up with their mouth? It
Those are
looks
just
like a
holes.
horror creature.
Yeah. So like a zombie from The Walking Dead, but
Yeah.
so when I typed in show me a picture of Murphy's Law, this is what it gave me. And I guess you can tell like anything bad will happen because there's a banana. You
Yeah.
kind of get
Like a
it.
banana peel.
Yeah.
Everyone's
So
laughing at him.
well, that's hilarious. A banana peel.
Yeah.
It's classic comedy. So I'm going to show you pictures, and you're going to tell me if you can guess what the law, principle, or adage is.
All
And
right.
some of these are interesting. I had to. So you look at this. What do you think this is?
This is the law of guns.
That's
This is the
very
gun law.
yeah. This is very close. This is what is called Chekhov's gun.
Why is there a spider there?
I don't know. I don't know why there's a spider there, but let me read you what
I know
Chekhov's
what
gun
Chekhov's
is.
gun means. It's means
Oh,
if
do
you
you?
have if you have like a gun in the first act of a movie, it has to be used in the third act of the movie.
You're
Like
amazing. You're
if you introduce
amazing.
something, you have to use it.
Yeah,
So,
that's exactly what it is. You're amazing. How did you, man? I I
uh,
I had no idea.
I only know that.
That's still impressive to me because I didn't know any of the like you're already 1 out of 7, you're good. Like that's more than I would have gotten on these.
This is the Second Amendment law.
Because I
Actually,
because I fit
spiders are allowed to have guns.
because I understand like that principle. I just didn't know there was like a word or term for it.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty amazed that you knew that the name of that.
it's
But
like
yeah,
it's common in a movie. It's a movie trope.
hmm
So,
but yeah, I don't know why the spider's there, but that's what came up. Let's see. Do you know what this is?
it's it's the law of having too many things to look at and you don't know which one to choose.
Almost. I know that was what went around here. Some. No, that's not one I picked. This is the Dunning Kruger effect.
Oh, the Dunning-Kruger effect. I hear that all the fucking time. I always forget what it's. I look it up and then I always forget what it means.
It states that people with limited competence overestimate their abilities, while people with higher intelligence underestimate their abilities.
That's true. I.e., Eric July is an example of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
I have seen that graph correlated with him and
Yeah.
their detractors or whoever are on his side. I forget what he
Yeah.
calls his fan base. The Juliers.
Rip-aheads.
There we go. Rip-aheads, whatever. The retard heads.
Repa-heads.
Okay, what do you think?
What the fuck's happening here? This guy's in a knot. There's like multiple people in a knot on that one side. And by the
Uh-huh.
way, that scale should be lower than the other one. Why is the other one heavier than all of that stuff
That
on
is
the left
I'm about to
side?
say that is very unbalanced.
It's the law of unbalanced work law.
so so I don't even think this has anything to do with what I put here. This is Eroom's law. The observation that drug discovery is becoming slower and more expensive over time despite improvements in technology.
Drug discovery? Like, oh, it's becoming slower. Like,
Hmm.
it's kind of like the cure for cancer. Like, I bet people have already found that shit, but they're not giving it out because then who would give
Well,
money to hospitals for curing cancer?
the money's in the sickness, not the cure, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That's how it is with like diabetes and all that other shit too. Like
that
that.
makes sense.
I don't know how this picture makes sense to that, but yeah, that
Yeah.
that was an interesting picture for AI to generate. Uh, this next one, what law do you think this is?
Uh, well, there's two people inside of you. There's you, and then there's the person that you expose to the world that's in the middle of your chest.
A little blue guy.
Yeah, everyone has a little blue guy in them.
You always have him covered up in your Gengar little outfit, the little blue
Yeah,
guy.
he's my little blue guy's right here. It's just underneath the skin.
This is Gerson's law. Yeah, Gerson's law, which is an advantage should be taken in every situation, regardless of ethics.
Oh, I mean, I agree with that. But also, what does this picture mean? Why? What does this picture have to do with that?
I don't know. I guess the dude is taking advantage of the chick, even though she has a small blue dude
She's
in
showing
her
up her little
bosom.
blue guy.
Yeah,
Hey, this is supposed to prevent you from arresting me. Look at my little blue guy. Don't you consider this little blue guy here?
show mercy. I am a
Show
woman with a
mercy.
little blue guy.
Yeah.
So it completely makes sense. AI is 100% on this picture. There's no
The future.
um what is this
All Gunders are real. It's the law of equality, right?
this is Lewis's law. I don't know why it put this here, but Lewis's law is the comments on any article of feminism justify feminism.
The comments on feminism justify feminism.
Hmm.
So like, oh, women shouldn't vote means that women should vote.
Well, it's like if you say all women should vote and then I start trying to comment on it, that justifies the idea of feminism. If someone
Oh,
is
gross. I hate
again,
that law. Fuck that law. It should be abolished.
guess who made up that law?
A woman?
Exactly.
Fuck.
All
A,
Gunders are equal.
abolish women's right to vote, please.
All Gunders. I can't deal with Gunders. This next one here. Do you know what this might be?
The law of citrus. The law of citrus. Everyone
Yeah, I
has
don't
an
know
orange
why.
in their head.
Some sort of orange or lemon or tadgelo. This is supposed to be Occam's razor.
What the? How is this Occam's razor?
I don't know. That's what it gave me. I was like looking at it. I'm like, this is the best one out of all the other pictures.
Yeah, the simplest solution tends to be the correct one. Um,
Man,
I learned that from Maddox, actually.
Well, you're good. You got at least what 3 of these. As far as like I would have not known like other than Murphy's Law. I'd barely know it, you know.
Hmm.
Last one here.
The idea that all planets are food. There's food out in space.
The cheese moon, cheese
Yeah,
moon law, the law of the cheese moon.
a lot of the cheese moon.
This this is Riley's law of retail gravitation.
Oh, I get that. Kind of makes sense. Like, if you have retail, if you're a strong retail powerhouse, people are going to come to you, right?
It says like the largest mall. People generally go to the largest mall in the area.
Yeah, there's more options.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Like, it's like the Mall of America.
Yeah, everyone wants to go to the bigger area because they think more people will be there, and it makes more people end up being there. I guess
I mean, that makes sense. It's like human nature.
it's a pretty cool picture.
That was a cool
For
picture.
yeah. But as far as yeah, that's the game. As far as retail, where can people gravitate to see some of your retail
I dropped my
body?
headphones. Oops.
Where
I did
can
not hear what you
people
said.
where can people gravitate to see your retail your body? I don't know.
All right. You can go to youtube.com/ASU Presents and do daily movie reviews there. If you want to request me a movie, patreon.com/ASU Presents, and my spicy sites and all of my other social media sites are my linktree, linktr.ee/hitsmintsalad. That's where you can find me.
Wonderful. And yeah, I do a daily podcast called That's All Funny. You can find anywhere podcasts available. Just search That's All Funny. Do a podcast with my buddy Gabe called That's All Kayfabe, where we talk about wrestling. You can find that anywhere podcasts are available. And yeah, keep it here on the YouTube channel where you can find me and Mint doing Tits and Areolas every Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, live on the YouTube and Twitter. I want to thank Mint for being here. She's great. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.